The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Y'all know what that means. It's Beer 30, y'all, and I'm your host, singer-songwriter Crisie Isbell, and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark impersonator. I'm the girl with the huge ratings. Hey, y'all. Have you missed me? I'm going to tell you about my weekend. I'm going to be honest. I've had a really wild-ass weekend so far, and for those of you that can see me, look at my heels. Hell yeah, that I'm wearing. I'm kicking my red high heels. So anyways, this was like not my finest half hour, okay? Honey, this is not. I mean, when you remember my name, like when I'm not here anymore, I don't know if there's actually going to be too many people that's like, man, she had class. I mean, that bitch was classy. I mean, I just don't know how many people really are going to be saying that. So let me tell you how my weekend went, okay? I went, skip classy. I went straight to trashy. So anyways, as you all know, I'm an Elvira, Mistress of the Dark impersonator. And I work at Hellbilly Hollow, and we did Hell Night. That was our 18 and up haunt. And there's also a haunted house called the Haunted Chicken House, owned by a man named Chicken Dan. Chicken Dan has went through horrible freaking cancer. Lost his voice, went through throat cancer. He's really gotten, thin here lately. So when I was working the 18 and up haunt, I went to the trailer to talk to Miss Kim Miller, and that is the owner of Hellbilly Hollow, Tim Miller. That's his wife. And so we were talking, and she was like, man, Crisie, Chicken Dan really wanted to come out here and see you for, the 18 and up haunt, but he just couldn't make it. She was like, girl, can you text him? Can you mess with him or something? And I'm thinking, girl, I am the queen of messing with somebody. Hell yeah. And it's always so flattering because he makes a special trip out there, to see Elvira. And Chicken Dan he's a legend, okay? He opened the Haunted Chicken House. This haunted house is freaking badass, man. I remember one time we kind of got trapped in there. This is a couple of years ago. There was a room, and it was filled with all of these fake hanging dead bodies. So when you would walk through it, they would touch you and stuff. They were hanging from the ceiling, and the whole room was filled with smoke, okay? And it was from a fog machine. And so you had to find your way out, and there were people screaming and banging on the walls trying to find a door and find their way out. And luckily our group maneuvered through there and all these dead body hanging things, and we found the door. And I was like, damn. I mean, it's the Haunted Chicken House is cool. So Chicken Dan is a legend. So Kim Miller was mess with him, in other words, make his day. Life is so short, man. And I think Chicken Dan is, how old?
76.
He's 76 years old. So I was like, I'm going to mess with him because he loves me. And so I think I kind of went overboard. But life is too short. Who cares? So anyways, all of Hellbilly Hollow, we got together. We support each other. So the Haunted Chicken House, they'll do commercials and advertise for Hellbilly Hollow. Hellbilly Hollow will always give a shout out to them. We really support each other, in the haunt industry, period. It's really great. It's a lot more awesome than people will ever know. So, okay, our haunted house, Hellbilly Hollow, sent out a message that we were all going to the Haunted Chicken House as a group. And I was like, great, this is great. So I'm going to mess with Chicken Dan, but how do I do it? What do I do? And so I was like, okay, I'll just wear a see-through shirt. So all it was just a net. and the holes were like as big around as a quarter. Like, it was just, this shirt was literally like I put on a net. So then underneath, I put on pot leaf pasties that I'm sure y'all have seen, you know, on social media, but they're lights. They light up and they can blink if you want them to. They have different settings. And I was like, I'll wear these pot leaf pasties and this see-through shirt, and I'm on my way to see Chicken Dan. Well, as you might have heard before in previous podcasts, I had a near fatal car accident a long time ago. So I'm always like fighting chronic pain, and I fired all my doctors. I went through my Lortab withdrawals. I don't take anything for it. I do yoga, really into herbs, things like that. Something natural like marijuana, okay? And yesterday, during the day, I had like the toughest workout. I mean, I really put in major effort here. I had leg day. I even did a little bit of arms. I did a whole yoga routine before that. So I'm like hurting. I was hurting. And I was like, I have not done this in so long, but screw it. I'm going to eat an entire gummy. Like, I'm not even going to half it. I'm just going to eat just the whole gummy, okay? And go to the haunted chicken house and have my finest half hour. So I was like, man, great planning. I mean, I come up with like the best freaking ideas. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I'm here to get the party started, okay? Like right now, I'm drinking a beer with you guys. I got my Corona Extra. So anyways, we're off to see Chicken Dan, okay? And all of a sudden on the way there, it happens, okay? I start laughing. Huge mistake, because once I start laughing, it's done, it's over with. I'm laughing for 2 or 3 hours straight. My ribs are gonna start hurting. I was like, oh no, I've started laughing. You know, it's just, it takes an hour and a half to get there. I laughed. These gummies, oh my God, freaking killer. I laughed all the way there. I started laughing, I couldn't stop. I had 2 beers there on the way there, like 2 beers. And that was it. And I mean, I was fried out of my freaking mind. And I forgot, you know, that I had the pot leaf light up pasties on. And these lights are so like all kinds of colors. Like, you cannot miss me. Like, you're seeing me coming, okay? Like, man, this girl's a hoe. Like, what the hell? Woo! She's here for action. Like, this girl don't give a damn. So we get there, and I was like, oh my God, I just don't even know if I can be around people. You know, I was that bad. Because all I'm going to do is just laugh. So I forget that I've got the pasties on. And like I said, it's been so long since I've taken a whole gummy like that. I went to Never Never Land, honey. I went all the way up to Saturn. I was up in outer space, baby. So I go walking up, like I get there. I go walking my ass up to the concession stand, and it's loaded down with women. I mean, these women are like late 30s, mid 40s, and older. And how many women do you think there was crowded in there?
5 or 6.
There was more than that. I mean, it was loaded down. And there was not one man. It was all women. And I had forgot I was walking up there with my pasties on. And all of a sudden, this concession stand went wild. I mean, these women were screaming and yelling and screaming, hell yeah, and hot damn and clapping and woo! I mean, these were all redneck girls. I was like, hell yeah. I mean, talk about, you know, making an entrance. These women were so freaking cool. They were so cool, and I'm high. I mean, I'm like high. So I'm walking up there, and they're clapping and screaming, and girl, when we saw you walk up, we were like, nuh-uh, and all this, and I'm like, uh-huh. And so all I had on was like, you know, the netted shirt or whatever. So I just looked at them and it was just me in front. And I looked at all the women, and I raised my top up so it was like, you know, just my light up pasties, and they're screaming and hollering and laughing. I mean, these women were laughing their asses off. Like, look at this chick. She is fun. I'm like, yes, that's what it's about. I am fun, okay? I'm here to have fun. So, I mean, I'm still giggling. I'm giggling my ass off. So, we walk up there, and I see a lot of people from Hellbilly Hollow, and it was just great. We walk up there and everything, and Chicken Dan is like in a wheelchair. He's in his wheelchair and just so thin, like so thin. But if you knew him, like his sense of humor is so cool. Like, this guy's fun. He's a legend. He's Chicken Dan. He's so much fun. So I walked up there, and I mean, I'm just laughing and giggling, and I sit in his lap in the wheelchair, and I pulled my shirt up, and we gave him a Sharpie, and I said, Chicken Dan, sign my breast. And he was like, yay! I mean, this man was so freaking happy. So he signed my breast, and woohoo! Like, you know, we were cheering and everything. And like I said, it was really not my finest hour, y'all. It was not. But you know what? I was having fun. I was happy, and I was having fun. Then next thing you know, after that, oh shit. Y'all, this is my first beer. So anyway, after that, this woman comes up, and this is so trashy. This is so trashy. Anyway, okay. So this woman comes up, and there was these two young guys there, and she was like, ma'am, will you please take a picture with these two? I mean, they're going crazy. They're flipping out. They just want one picture with you, please. And she was begging me, and I was like, because like I was high, you know. I was just wanting to get through the haunted house and, like, do what I had to do. Like, stay focused, you know. Oh, my God. So I go over there to take a picture, and she's like, look, girl, no. They're wanting you to raise your shirt up again, because these pasties are really big. I mean, big pasties, so it's like whatever. Girl, she goes, they just got out of rehab. She said these guys just got out of rehab. Their ass just got out of rehab. Will you please take a picture with them? And then I felt bad, so I was like, oh my God, hell with it, you know, F it, I'll do it. So I did it. And they were all screaming and stuff. So for me to get to this place, to even go through the haunted house, I'm stoned. So I have to go through a bunch of women in a concession stand, show them my boobs. Then I got Chicken Dan to sign my boobs. And then I took a picture with these two guys that just got out of rehab with my pasties on. And then I was like, God, can we go through the haunted house yet or not? I mean, it was so classy. My ass had so much class. It wasn't even funny, okay? So then, it's supposed to be a haunted house. Like, it's supposed to be scary, okay?
Michael Myers wanted to stab your boob.
So, yeah, Michael Myers was trying to stab my boobs with his knife, and I was like, it was funny. So anyway, we go through the haunted house. It's supposed to be scary, and I laughed the whole way through. I laughed from the beginning of the haunted house to the end. I couldn't help myself. It was crazy, and I had to go down a huge freaking sliding board. Whee! Woo! You know, there was some tight spaces. Now, that I did not like. Some really, really, you know, tight spaces that you got to get through. I was like, oh, God, I'm too high for this. And then, you know, you go across a bridge, and the colors are going, woo, 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 woo. And I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Why did I take this entire gummy? There's chainsaws and shit. I mean, I laughed all the way through it. It was freaking hysterical. And then after that, I had to go through the hayride. I was like, I'm never getting out of here. This is never going to end. It was never going to end. But I'm telling you this, I had so much fun. Felt so honored that Chicken Dan loves my character, that he loves Elvira, that he loves me so much. And it was a blast having him to sign my boob. I mean, it really, man, it put his ass in a good mood. It made him so freaking happy. If I could, since he looks so frail, and I know that he is a fun person. I mean, his ass is a firecracker. If I could get away with it, knowing that he would feel okay and it would all be okay, before that man left this earth, I would take his ass to the strip club. I would take his ass to the strip club so fast and have fun, because it's one life, okay? It's one life. Let's just go out with a bang. Okay, I plan on it. I plan on going out with a bang, just like right here, having a beer with you guys. So, but anyway, that's my story about this weekend. And, my finest half hour. So, speaking of everything that I just said, I'm 46. I'm going on 47. And even though, like I keep saying, it was classy, kidding, it was trashy, I was acting trashy, I felt so good about myself, because I was like, you know what? I have not showed my ass like that in a long time. Like, in a really long time, because I'm 46. And, honey, I just walked my tramp-looking ass up in there, and I showed my ass. And I was like, girl, you still got it. Girl, you can still show your ass when you want to, And I think that it's really sad, in my opinion, that there's people out there that just don't show their ass anymore. They don't give it 110%. You need to go out every now and then and have a release and not care about what the hell everybody thinks. The hell with that. Fun is where it's at, okay? You need a release. I think that everybody every now and then just needs to go out and get feral as hell. I mean, just get feral. Get feral, honey, and just completely show your ass, and then you'll feel better. You'll feel better. It's really good therapy. I recommend it for everyone. It's just life. Okay, so somewhere in all of this, Tim Miller, which is my boss, and I'm just high. I'm so high. This night just got worse and worse. So I go to get in line to get in the haunted house, so I see Tim Miller, and I'm high. And I looked at Tim, and I was like, Tim, look at my boob. Chicken Dan signed my boob, and I'm talking about, I have never seen Tim. And he's from my hometown. We're from the same hometown of Vincent. Honey, he turned different colors. I thought he was going to pass out. I really thought he was going to pass out for a minute. I was like, because y'all can still kind of see it, because I ain't even bathed, y'all. I got feral last night, but it's Chicken Dan. Chicken Dan, for those of you that can see by video. It's really faded now, because I've done yoga and everything else today. But I mean, I walked up on Tim Miller, and I'm like, hey. And I was like, look at here, Chicken Dan signed my boob. And I mean, all of a sudden, his face did a purpley red sort of, I don't even know what that was. I don't even know. And we were all laughing. It was just freaking hysterical. So then, okay, after that wild night, hayride, being chased by chainsaws. I got chased by Michael Myers. He tried to stab my boobs. And I'm high as hell the whole time. The whole time. It was just so freaking hysterical. So then after all of that, I wake up this morning, and it seemed like it was a dream. Like I went through this Alice in Wonderland haunted house thing, and I felt like Alice in Alice in Wonderland. Curiouser and curiouser. Like, this place is crazy. I am at the circus, okay? All the outfits and shit, and I'm just laughing. So I wake up the next day and I look down at my left breast and it said Chicken Dan on it. And I went, oh God. You know, you have that moment the next morning when you got feral and wild that you're just like, oh, and you want to kind of put your head down a little bit. And I started thinking about all the photo evidence, like all the pictures. Like, I can't even deny this stuff. I might as well just tell y'all on the podcast what I did, because there's so much photographic damn evidence. With these iPhones, you can't even go out no more and have a good time without people making videos and pictures and every damn thing else. And honey, when I throw down, when I get feral, it's bad. It's so damn bad. So anyway, I mean, these guys that just got out of rehabs got pictures of me somewhere with my pasties on, freaking flashed my balls, flashed some chicks, had Chicken dance on my boob. Woo! I got wild. I was 21 for a second. I don't know. There was something about the gummy I took. It told me I was 21 and I'm 46. Oh, God. I mean, we all need to live, though, for real. But that was so much fun. I hadn't had that much fun in a while. I really needed that because, you know, another reason why I work at the haunted house and I've taken on, my red heels, my Elvira character is because the only thing that we do is text each other nowadays. How freaking boring. How boring. I mean, how about go out face to face and let's down some beers? How about that? Like, let's have some fun. What happened to that? Like, you know, if I saw somebody on social media, that means I saw them. No, it doesn't. Elvira keeps me going out in person around people. I take pictures all night. I take so many pictures as Elvira that it is just unreal. It is unreal. And I remember this video. This is so freaking funny. Last year, as a matter of fact, it was the pot leaf pasties. Chicken Dan came to see me at Hellbilly Hollow last year. Well, he brought some boys with him that work for him at the haunted chicken house, and people didn't realize that. And these weren't kids. These weren't kids. They were like older teenagers, I guess, you know, just people that work at the haunt with him. And, you know, the word's out like, man, do you want to go see Elvira? And it's not like Chicken Dan wanted to come by himself. I mean, that's stupid. So he brought a bunch of boys. Like, he got some boys together like, hey, boys, you want to go see Elvira? Woo! Like that. Okay. So I had these the light up pot leaf pasties on, but as Elvira, and they were steadily blinking. Bing, 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 bing. And it's funny because when I go through the haunted house with the light up pasties, it's like I'm Rudolph leading the way. Like, they can't surprise me, bitch, because my pasties are lit up and they're like flashlights. So it's like it really helps you to find your way through those tight spaces, you know, in the haunted house. So, you know, bing, bing, bing. I'm Rudolph, bitch. So anyway, Chicken Dan came to see me. And Hellbilly Hollow opened up that night, not for any customers. We held a haunt that was for all the other employees of all the other haunted houses. So in other words, if it is a teenager, they grew up in the haunt industry. My kids work in the haunt industry. We all know what's going on. You know, that this is not real. This is pretend. The blood, the chainsaws, all of it is not real. Okay, this is a character, and we even have classes at haunted houses, yes, that are like haunt acting classes to help people get into their character, you know, so they know that it's a character. I cannot stress that enough. So I'm in character. I'm Elvira. So I did a video and posted it, and people were dogging me out, and y'all know I love when that shit happens. Honey, I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. I mean, I ain't got no class. You say something to me? So anyways, the video was deceiving because it looked like we were open to like the public, but we were not. We were holding a haunt for all the employees of the other haunted houses. The reason why is because when you work all year, you're stuck. You can't get out and go to other haunted houses or see other haunts because you're working. So we did it to be nice. Okay, so I'm Elvira, and Chicken Dan comes up, and there's this whole crowd of people behind me, and we did this video of me, and the boys that he brought were behind me. They were walking behind me, and my boobs were just going bing, 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 flashing, and it's at night. And so I started screaming into the crowd. I said, hey, everybody, if you're epileptic, don't look at my boobs, okay? If you're epileptic, don't look at my boobs. And everybody was laughing. And Chicken Dan, had walked by with all them boys in the video. So some people on TikTok or whatever was commenting, oh, that's just real classy at a family place. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, no, it was a joke, It's like everybody there was in on the joke, And that's just one reason why Chicken Dan loves me. It was hysterical because they do blink like bing, bing, bing. So if you're epileptic, you don't need to look at my boobs. Those are just facts, okay? I mean, those are hard facts. So, woo! But I just thought that was freaking hysterical. Chicken Dan is so sweet. I've had just, over the time of me working as Elvira, some great pictures with him. He was one of the first people that I saw working as Elvira. I didn't know my character yet, and I really didn't know what to do. And this is before Tim put me out front, so, I'm always out front greeting everybody, taking pictures, and heckling people that are in the line to go to the haunted house. And at first, the first time I worked, Tim put me in a room in the house. And Chicken Dan had heard that Tim had gotten an Elvira, and I had not met him yet. And they were like, look, Chicken Dan's coming through, and he's got cancer, really bad. And, like, make him feel good or whatever. And all of a sudden, this man starts walking through the room doing this with his hands, for those of y'all that can see me, just doing his hands opened and closed, and his eyes were this big around, and he was like, hell yeah. And that's when I really knew. I was like, this Elvira thing is going to be fun. I'm going to have fun doing this, because I was nervous. I was nervous my first night, I'm not Crisie, I'm Elvira, but man, it has went great. I am so glad that I took on this Elvira character, and I cannot wait to go to New Orleans to the Vampires Ball this year, because I MC that bitch. And last year we had a burlesque dancer, and I think that she's going to be back there again this year. And the band is great. They've got horns, they've got saxophones, because it's New Orleans, so we're dancing. And oh my God, all the vampire costumes are hot. I wish I would come and join me there. I mean, do I not have the best Elvira gig or what? Yes! Get to go to New Orleans and be around a bunch of vampires. I mean, life's not too bad. I mean, it's not that bad. And just announce stuff on the microphone. You have no idea how thankful I am for this New Orleans gig. Oh my God. And I just tell jokes all night, just openly on the microphone. Just tell jokes, make it just as fun. Try to make everybody blush. That's my goal, is to see who I can make blush. It's a talent. It's a talent, okay? Y'all, I'm going to take a break and down some of this beer. Y'all, since it's Halloween season, it makes me think of Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And honey, sometimes my taste in clothes, I think I'm a little Frankenfurter, okay? Because I love heels, and I love stockings, I love lingerie. I do not hold back. Like, if I want to dress sexy and go somewhere, honey, I will do it. But everything you do in life, don't half-ass it. That was my mom saying, don't half-ass it. Like, if I mopped the floor, if I did anything, my mama was like, girl, don't you half-ass it. So as far as me hoeing out, honey, I don't half-ass it. I go all the way. I just go all the way and I just show up like, hey, I'm here. So one night I have a friend. This is so funny. Because, like, if I show up somewhere, it's like, what is Crisie wearing? Okay, let's just go ahead and talk about it. And I have a friend. Her name was Kelly. She's a redheaded girl. And, honey, I showed up to the bar one night, and she screamed at the top of her lungs to where everybody could hear. She goes, here comes Crisie. Here she comes. She's here to piss all the women off. I mean, just in front of everybody. And she gave, like, this whole entire speech. And, honey, I just strutted through there like, like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. Life is just too damn short, you know. So Dolly Parton did it. And, I mean, my power to her. I love Dolly Parton. I totally get it. I get her. I get Cher. I get Tina Turner. I mean, I understand these ladies. You know what I mean? And speaking of, honey, I just recorded What's Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner. I cannot wait for y'all to hear this. I mean, I want this song released, and I want to put something hot as hell on with my red sexy heels, and I want to get on stage, and I want to sing Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It, and I cannot wait for all of you guys to hear it, or just to hear this album that me and Frank is recording. So anyways, Frank texted us today, and I had like got up and made my morning post on Instagram, and sometimes I'll just go full on all these bugs. I'll go full on hippie, you know, and just the hell with clothes. Am I at Woodstock? Is this 1969, bitch? I got the year mixed up. The hell with the bra and clothes. So anyways, you know, sometimes I'll just be in that feral type of mood, and I'm really authentic, and I'll just be posting some shit on Instagram. And y'all know I do yoga, and I skinny dip, and I do nude yoga, and, you know, I'm just out there, I guess. But I really want to feel life. I want to feel everything, touch everything. When it rains, I'm not like in the house like, oh, God, it's raining. I'm like playing in it. I will play in a mud puddle. I want to touch the rain. I want to smell it. I want to experience this life thing. I don't want to sit on the sidelines. If you want to wear something, you better wear it, because life is short. You know, it doesn't last forever. So if there's something that makes your heart race, like this right here makes my heart race, red, offensive ass high heels. And I told it in another podcast, but I'll do it again now that I'm filming. When my best friend passed away, I wore some shit like this to her funeral. I did. I wore the sluttiest. I mean, they were very similar to these heels to her funeral. Like, bitch, I am here. It was, I mean, you know, what do you expect? And I did it for her, in honor of her. You know, it's something that I did for her. It was a funny between us. But anyway, back to my post on Instagram. They can be fiery. Look, I'm an Aries, okay? I'm a fire sign. I mean, there's no hiding it. And my rising sign is Sagittarius. So, damn, you know. Anybody that knows anything about astrology, okay? And I do have some Leo in my chart. So, I mean, fire, okay? Fire. So, I'm just really fiery. I did my post on Instagram, you know, this morning. And it was like just a really hot, sexy post, you know, because I'm like, you know, one day I'm just going to be old as shit, and I won't be able to, or I may not be able to strut my stuff like this. I'd like to think that I'm like Cher, Christy Brinkley. I mean, that's my goal, let's face it. But while it's here, I'm going to have fun with it. And so, anyways, my producer, and he's like won Grammys. He's like educated, you know, he's a professional. I mean, no weirdness with this one. He is strictly very professional, and he really intimidates me at times because he's so strict. So when he texts me, I'm always like, ah, and my heart will do weird shit because, like, he's the boss, okay? And Frank will let you know it, bitch, I'm the boss. And I'm like, okay, Sagittarius, and he's a Sagittarius. So, woo! He's a Sagittarius and I'm an Aries, and we're working together. Woohoo, right? So anyways, he texted and he was like, hey, I saw your last Instagram post. And I was like, oh shit, you know. So anyways, we talked to him and everything, and he was just like, man, you know what? Crisie's such a free spirit. You know, she's just, you know, she's a free spirit. And he just kept on with that. And like that I was so much fun. So like, God, I was so relieved. But like, he had got his phone out because his son was like, hey, look at my post. And he was like, boom, it's Crisie's post. And I'm like, boom, in the picture, you know. So, but he knows by now, like, I'm going to express myself. And this is what I think about it on a professional level, which I know I'm cracking jokes and, like, you know, I can be witty and all of that. But if you want to be intellectual about it, as far as business-wise, Freddie Mercury was Freddie Mercury. Think about it. He had to go all the way with his personality, with his charm, with his sexuality, with his charisma. Think about, you know, like I've said before, Tina Turner. She would wear the really, kind of like the skirt I've got on now, really short leather skirt so that she could show off her legs. Tina Turner was sexy. She was freaking beautiful, okay? But these artists, David Bowie, you know, think if you were being a producer for David Bowie, that's where I'm at, is what I'm saying. I'm an artist, okay? And on a certain level, if you are not willing to go all the way out there, you're not going to sing the songs like you mean it. You're not going to write the songs like you mean it. You're not going to pull off a concert and vocals and performance like you mean it, because you're too inhibited. You're too inhibited, okay? You're being a Karen. It gums up the works as far as writing, any kind of art, painting. I mean, I do acrylic painting and write poetry. There's so many different kinds of arts that I do, and I always do things on purpose to really get myself out there and out there on that edge and enjoying life in a really wild way. And I made a post today talking about the interesting fact that the truth is, people don't know it, but I'm really a nerd. I'm such a nerd. I've read like 1 million freaking books. When I was in high school, I wrote the school newspaper, like I organized it. I had like a poetry column. I'm really dorky. I mean, I like science fiction, all kinds of things, you know, that make you think. And so I try to keep myself in like a really raw state of mind so that I can really write, so that I can really do the art that I want to do. And sometimes, and like I said, I want to feel everything. I want to feel the rain. I want to go skinny dipping. I dance naked in the rain. But sometimes, you know, we'll build a big fire and I'll get out here and I will dance naked at night around the fire. And it will remind me, hey, you're still alive. You are living. You're still alive. You're feeling everything that there is to feel. You're really getting out there. So anyway, I think that getting feral and getting out there is good for the soul. I read a lot of books, like I was saying in a post I made today, about people that lived in the 1800s. In the Wild West. My favorite person to read about is Quanah Parker, because his ass was wild. I mean, you want to talk about wild, honey. He was wild. And like Billy the Kid and all of these characters that lived, because we are missing that now. We're all so soft. We're so soft. It's driving me crazy, okay? I am a bow hunter. I'm a deer hunter. I get out there. I get into the elements and I get wild. Very, very wild. And when I used to talk to women in jail and in prison, I would tell them, no matter what that is, that you feel like you've got to do to scratch that itch, because I've been off of actual drugs since 2003. I quit drugs. Marijuana's not a drug. Don't make me go there. Marijuana's like a really cool gift from God. That is God's medicine, okay? It really is. It's God's medicine. So whether it be riding horses, because I ride the hell out of horses, okay? Whether it be skydiving, hunting, throwing axes. I love to throw axes, and I'm really good at it. And I really love shooting a bow. I feel so much more connected to a bow than I do a deer rifle. I like bow hunting so much better. It is so much better. But anyways, Quanah Parker, the reason why I love him is because, number one, that bitch could hunt. Oh, shit. It's like a little frog or something landed on me. Anyway, I'm like, I'm a deer hunter. Oh my God, a bug. So anyway, he could hunt. I mean, really hunt. He was a warrior. He was the last chief of the Comanche tribe before they got put on the reservation. He was the last chief, and he was mixed. His mom was white. She was a captive. His dad was the chief of the Comanches. He was wild. And look, he was so wild, this man. First of all, he had 5 wives, so I'm like, damn, the stamina, okay? His ass was maintaining 5 wives. So the white people came up there to his house, and I'm all reading the book and everything, because this is all true. And they were like, you can't do this, Quanah. But they had so much respect for him. Just read about him. What the hell? So anyway, they had so much respect for Quanah, but they were like, look, this is polygamy, and it's illegal. And I mean, he rose up and went off on those men. And he kept saying, which one do I make cry? Which woman do I make cry? And I mean, he threw such a fit that until the day he died, that man kept his 5 wives. I mean, you talk about impressed. I'm sitting here reading it like, well, damn, Quanah and stuff. He kept his 5 wives, honey. But anyway, the Comanches were the last tribe, the very last tribe to be put on a reservation. And here's why. Because they were the wildest, they were the scariest, and they were the toughest. Let me tell you some shit that they used to do. I mean, we're so weak now. Y'all, our asses is so weak. We're worried about dumb shit like getting embarrassed in front of people. What the hell? So look, these white people get like a group together. They're going to go out on horseback, and they're going to hunt the Comanches, you know, and they're going to map everything out and move into the Comanche territory. So they've never been out west. They don't know shit about this place. They don't know how to survive. And these people, they weren't politically correct. So when you're reading these books about the 1800s, that's what makes it so great. There's no political correctness. So these men were admitting how embarrassed, like it hurt their man pride. They were so embarrassed in front of Quanah because they moved out onto Comanche territory, out in the west, like out in Texas, and they didn't have any water. They felt like it was the end, like, bitch, we're gonna die. We don't know how to hunt here. We just don't know, like, how to survive here. Well, the Comanches, if they needed water, like if they needed something to drink, they would take a knife and rip open the stomach of an animal and drink the contents of the stomach. I'm talking about they would kill a cow or a horse if whatever was needed, and drink the contents of the stomach so that they would not die out in the desert. This is how hardcore the Comanches were. Whatever it took. That's why they were the last ones to be put on the reservation, because they were scary as shit. And I think that is funny. But that is how tough Quanah was. There is stories about his ass. He was wild. He was so wild, okay? So they're like out there with no water, and they're embarrassed. And they said that Quanah was big. Like he was a big guy, and it described in there, because they're not politically correct, how muscular he was and how scary he looked, riding up on these white guys because one of them kept a diary. And Quanah rode up screaming and rode around them on a horse. And they said, and I cannot believe these guys wrote that it was like one of the most magnificent things that they'd ever seen in their life, that Quanah laughed at them and made fun of them because they were thirsty. They were so thirsty. They said they were so embarrassed to be caught by him on his land doing so poorly as men. And do you know what Quanah did? He rode around and around him and got close to him, laughed at him, and then rode away and left them there. Did not even give them one damn drop of water. Not one drop of water. He just came up to them as the chief to say, bitch, I know you're here. And I mean, you're doing pretty freaking shitty. You're doing shitty. I mean, he was the last chief, the last Indian chief to surrender and move his people onto a reservation. But I love the stories of all the wild people, Annie Oakley, all of them. I do. That's why I love hunting, because I want to stay challenged. I want to stay engaged. If it takes me dancing around a fire naked, doing nude yoga, deer hunting, bow hunting, throwing axes, dancing in the rain, freaking howling at the moon. Not this past full moon, but the one before that. I did some pictures of just my silhouette in the full moon. And I was so proud to do that because I'm like, I'm alive, okay? I mean, hell with the stigmatism today. I would like to know that if somebody stuck me back in the 1800s, that I could make it. You know what I mean? I would like to think or to know that somehow I could be tough enough to make it. That's why I love having my own garden. I love growing my own food. And I mean, I like killing my food, obviously. I'm so horrible. But man, listen, the human race, I'm sorry, softies, but it was built on hunting. Think about redheaded Vikings. Even pagan asses, they were hunters, okay? Native Americans, they were hunters. They were killing buffalo. The human race survived on being a hunter. And the human race not only survived on that, but it survived on who was the best hunter. Okay? People selected a few to hunt for all back then. So it was an honor. So why would I sit here and feel bad about myself being a deer hunter when it is an honor? Like, I provide meat. One deer can provide meat for my family for a year and a half. It is an honor what I do. And I'm proud of myself. So, But anyways, announcements and all of that crap. Get wild, people. Get out there. Get feral before it's too late. Don't stop. Have fun. Drink some beers with me. Okay, so if you would like to download my album, Battle Scars, go to Crisie Isbell Music.com, and that is spelled Crisie, Isbell, Isbell, Crisie Isbell Music.com, and download my album, Battle Scars. It's only like $7.90. I mean, come the hell on. Anyway, follow me on all of my social media, especially if you are into getting offended. If you are into getting offended and, I don't know, a little bit of shock and humor, follow me on social media. It's better than TV. So go to Crisie Isbell on Instagram and X and TikTok. And so now I'm posting stuff on YouTube and Rumble. And always listen to my podcast, because y'all's asses don't ever know what the hell I'm going to say. And when I post my podcast on YouTube, share it to everybody. And also follow my music on Spotify, as well as following this podcast on Spotify. And listen to me weeknights at 9 p.m. on TonyCurryRadio.net, bitch. Woo, woo, woo! I'm outside drinking beers. That's funny. Ooh, the hounds are descending. They're coming after me. Also, y'all, look up Hellbilly Hollow in Vincent, Alabama, so that you guys can come see me as Elvira this year, Mistress of the Dark, and you can take your picture with me. I love to meet everybody. I like to meet everybody in person. It's fun. So come out and have fun. I'm so excited that it is almost October. October. I'm talking about October is my favorite month of the year. Can you tell? It's my favorite month, y'all. Halloween. Elvira season. I've already been watching scary movies. Like I told y'all on my last podcast, I'm already well started, and I'm going to watch something raunchy as hell tonight for a horror flick. So come on. But anyways, if you heard this podcast, message me and let me know if you're going to come see me as Elvira. Let me know if you downloaded my album. And let me know what all movies you guys have watched so far as horror movies. If you've already gotten your start this Halloween. Man, I am excited. The fall is my favorite freaking time of year. I mean, my favorite time of year. My daughter has already decorated her entire room. She ordered Halloween bedclothes. That's how sick we are. And put it on her bed because she works at the haunted house too. I mean, she ordered a comforter, sheets, matching curtains. I mean, honey, she is into it. And she's a redhead too. She's so freaking pretty. But honey, she is into Halloween. I don't know why. I mean, Hellbilly Hollow was her first job. I think she was like 5. Now she's 10. So she's really into it. But come and see her. Come and see all of us this year. I'm really excited about it. Tomorrow I'm actually going to go spend some time with Kim Miller at her house, Tim's wife. So, and I got to tell her all about last night's fiasco. It's so funny because one night, okay, Kim calls me and Tim, and they're like, man, can y'all come down here? We're having an adult night. You know, we don't want any kids. And don't let this leak out. You know, it's just a small, you know, adult night get together. So I was like, okay. And we go down there and everything. And their son is like 6'6". I know that sounds really exaggerated. But this bitch is freaking Andre the Giant. This guy is so huge. He's in my music video, Hunting with the Boys. He's the big dude, big beard. And he told me, and y'all know my past, I've done past podcasts about my beer drinking history and why it's so intense. And he told me, he was like, I'm going to drink with you. And he was acting like hot shit. You know, I'm going to drink with you. And he was bragging, I can drink so many beers. And man, I can drink beers. And I said, okay. And I start downing beers because, you know, I'm me. And I mean, after a while, Tim laughed so hard he had tears coming out and he couldn't breathe and he was locked over like this, Tim Miller, because his son that was a giant was so bad off. He was on the floor, clothes all hanging off, couldn't understand a word he said, and I'm just sitting there just like I am right now. And I got a video of it. I made a video of him. And I still have it. I wouldn't show anybody, but I've still got the video. And Kim Miller yelled when I was videoing. She got mad and she goes, don't you video my baby like that? Because that was her son. But I couldn't help myself. I mean, I got to have proof of my drinking skills. And honey, I felt like I had really accomplished something. But me and beer's got a long history, okay? And some people that just, you know, want to have one night a year with a beer, no. It's just, I don't care how big you are. Honey, that shit ain't gonna work. It don't work next to a professional. This shit don't work. But I had to have proof, so I've got my video proof of Tim and Kim Miller's son. It was so bad. I felt bad for him. The next day, I actually called Tim and I was like, man, I feel so bad about that. You know, maybe I shouldn't have videoed that. And I mean, Tim laughed. His sense of humor is out there. He thought that was the funniest damn thing ever because I was like, okay, hell, I'll break open some beers with you. Let's get it on. You know, I'm thinking, hell, this guy's huge. We're going to drink some beers. And it just went, you know, so far downhill for him. I felt bad because I know he had to have been embarrassed. Poor baby, because, you know, I think he was setting up to impress, you know, like, Chrissy's here, I'm going to drink beer with her. Wah, wah. He tried, though, and I love you, Van. Don't take offense, but I still got the video. But anyway, he was in my music video, Hunting with the Boys. He's the biggest guy in the whole video. And, honey, I could drink his ass under the table. Look, it's no secret that I can get trashy, and I'm saying you cannot outdrink somebody with the level of life experience that I've had. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just being honest with you, okay? I'm a chick that can deer hunt and that can handle a beer. And that's just facts. I mean, you know, maybe I could have lived back in the Wild West and handled it just fine. I mean, shit. I mean, they would drink whiskey if you're sick. Like, is that a cough? Grab the whiskey. What can help the situation? Whiskey. Kentucky bourbon, you know. I think that was cool. But anyways, y'all, I love y'all so much. And my time is running out. I've had so much fun sitting here drinking beers and bullshitting with you guys tonight. So anyways, like I said, give me a holler, give me a shout out. I am here. And until I'm bullshitting and drinking with you guys next week, baby, unpleasant dreams.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.